Hello, and welcome back to Blunders. We are on day 2 of making this little stump guy standing in front of a hill with some hidden flowers. And we're going. Today, we're going to be making mostly an accessory for this guy. I don't know how long it's going to take, so maybe we'll finish it quickly and there'll be more, but for the most part, I think we're going to be doing this. This character, this little stump dude, is going to have a cat skull sitting inside this little knotted hole. And that cat skull is going to be kind of its essence, its like soul. So yeah, we're going to be spending a good amount of time making this cat skull. So, fair warning, if you don't want to see anything kind of gruesome or skeletal, then yeah, probably not the one for you. I will say that from an artistic perspective, understanding anatomy and being comfortable with anatomy is super important. Not that you necessarily have to be watching this for artistic reasons, but if you are, this might not be the day for you, but I would consider changing your relationship to skulls. Anyway, moving on from that. I'm going to be putting a reference image up here, and we're going to be working off of it. And I'm just going to see how good I can get it. So without beating around the bush too much, let's start up some music, and we'll get started here. So first things first, I am going to cut all of these little elements, and we're only going to focus on the skull. So I got 2 reference images here. I'm inclined only to work off of one of them. Right, so that's my skull. Right, I'm going to try and keep it as simple as I can. It's definitely a complicated shape. I don't want to get too caught up with it. But I think we can work this. I am inclined to try and sculpt it. But just looking at it, I'm sort of like, what if we tried to low poly it? So let's just play first. We'll see what we can work with before we get too stuck in any kind of process. So I got a 5 wide icosphere. We'll get that sort of cranial shape going. In fact, let me go ahead and just rotate it. That didn't do at all what I expected it to do. There we go. Cool. So, how can we low poly this thing? Well, first things first, let's get on an orthographic view. We'll go into edit mode. We'll put on wireframe. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and we're going to grab all of the bottom. And we'll scale it up. The scaling always gets a little messed up when you try to do this, so just be extra careful with it. But we're going to do this, and then push it back up to its rightful place. That'll be roughly the sort of dimensions that we want, and then the teeth will come off. We'll scoop up in here. Looking at this now, I kind of think it would be foolish not to sculpt it. Like, I think sculpting is infinitely better than whatever else we plan on doing. So let's sculpt it. Let's not beat around the bush. Let's not think about it. There might be a healthier way for me to be doing this, but I am not concerned. So, how do we want to do it? I'm inclined to say clay strips, but we'll start for now by doing this. Really lower this. We want Y symmetry, X symmetry. There it is. We're just going to dig into it. eventually this thing will be even. I suppose I should also remesh it. While we're here, let's remesh it. I am worried about how deep our geometry is getting. You know, if this was going to be used for any sort of game or long animation, I think the polygons are actually like way too crazy on this model. So once we get to the end, we'll try and bring all that back. But not today. Today is not for that. Today is just to make a product. So we are digging and digging and digging into this little guy. Gonna keep remeshing, keep digging. We just want the simple geometry to work first. I'm gonna inflate this to try and make more of a circle. Right there. All right, and now we'll do some averaging. Just to get it kind of going. There we go. Looks like those paddles that people play, that like racquetball game. I think it's called Highlight. Kind of looks like a highlight glove. Which I guess skulls kind of are just a highlight glove, so not that far off. All right. We're going, we're going. Always fighting the urge to just be distracted. The day that I can 3D model without having to think too much and just kind of crack jokes the whole time, that'll be the day. Maybe it won't be the day. Maybe I'll be discontent by that point. Because I sort of enjoy the challenge. Or maybe the comedy itself will be a challenge. Who knows? In my private life, I tend to only really be funny around a couple of people. And that is definitely something that I would like to get better at. So hopefully streaming can be a conduit for comedy for me. We'll see. Not that that's super relevant to what we're doing right now, but just to kind of pass the time while we sit here and sculpt this thing out. Okay. That looks solid. I don't want the stump on there. In fact, I'm going to make a new collection all the way here at the top. Okay. Come on. There we go. I'm going to throw the empty in there, and I'm going to throw the icosphere in there. So that way I can just decompress all of this. We can just focus on these two. So, what are we doing here? Let's get that shape going correctly. Okay, it's nice and smooth on the top. This is all just feeling at this point. Okay, and then we'll put a hole in it. Let's inflate this side. And then we'll dig up in here. Kind of looks like a weird nose now. I think we need to try and break through the eye socket real quick. Let's do this. This, I think, is like absolutely crucial for us. Once we break the eye socket, I think the geometry should like mix a little bit better. We should also break through the nose. So let's just get in there. Come on. I know you want to work. Looks like a balaclava to some degree. This mesh is going to look like everything to me, apparently. All right. Is there a tool that cuts a little bit better than this? Or do I just have to wait for this thing to kind of break on through? Right, like this is not going to be good. I'm going to look from the bottom. It's still not even going. Okay, we're still just pushing up inside this thing. Hoping to... Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, so I can average this hole. And then expand the rest of these bad boys. And if we remesh them, we should be looking good. Is there a more efficient way of doing that? Oh, absolutely there is. I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, should have started by doing this. Got this weird octopus-looking boy first. But, you know, it's actually kind of nice. Okay, we're gonna take it and we're gonna average out. Really drop the dimensions here. We want the eye socket to get bigger, not smaller. There we go. We're just going to keep remeshing until it stabilizes. Okay, you'll do. Now let's do the nose. Okay, the nose is here. Oh, and it like meets up with the eye chambers. That's exactly like how it's supposed to look. Yeah, there's little chambers in there. Okay. So we'll remesh this a couple of times until it works. Now we can sit and average all of this. Come on. Now, if I were being really technical, I would come in here and we would make a little cage that the brain sits in, and no, we're not doing all that. That's not the point of this. This is just meant to be a quick skull that's going to sit in there and kind of look menacing. Cool. So we've made our openings. Let's go back to what we were doing. We're going to be really careful not to ruin this work that we've now just done. So if I am extremely careful about our averaging, I think I might have already messed this up a little bit, but we'll come back around. We just need to inflate it. Okay, we got a little divot here. That works. There we go. We're going to clay strips from the inside to accentuate that nose. But otherwise, this can come back. Let's not do such a hard edge on that. Okay, now the eye needs to be huge. It needs to be like a perfect circle, which is going to be tough. Okay, we will average it. I think averaging it might actually get the job done right away here. The clay strips on the inside will certainly help. That eye needs to be way bigger. Right about here. Let's see what this does. Excuse me. Ate some hot pizza earlier. That's what I get. It's giving me the sniffles. Oh, come on. This eye needs to be huge. Let's come up from the inside. We're actually going to do this part. Right. That looks pretty solid. This should round it out a little bit. If we get a little bit of remeshing going on and then we crease around the eye, I think we might be in the ballpark. I think we might be like ready to go. Okay, so skull is taking shape. Perfect. Let's remesh it once and then really get this eye nice and rounded. Okay, and then we'll bring the bottom up. I think I'm going to add the teeth in post. I'm a little bit worried about how specific the geometry is going to be on these guys. And I'm not in the business of ruining my whole mesh in the pursuit of this. So we're gonna push on that a little bit. Okay, we will average you. It's very flat, this part. So let's do this. Just flatten it out a lot. I could increase the strength and speed this up, but I don't want to speed it up too much. Very flat, yep. And then we'll add the creases in a second. Next thing I want to do is I want to clay strips. Actually, thumb might be perfect here. Thumb is not perfect here. Clay strips it is. Why use something different when something is going to work? There we go. That's about the right shape. I think we're really gonna want to push down here. Right? Yes. Okay. And then we'll do some averaging. I say averaging. I actually want to inflate that part. Just like that. Average that. That kind of does it for me. That kind of does it. Okay, cool. I'm gonna spare myself the really specific details for now because I'm a little scared I'm going to mess them up. So let's just do a little bit of flattening out front here. Just enough to get it feeling like it's correct. And I mean, that's the front teeth, right? So we'll come up here. This guy can get out of here. If we just flatten that out. Really flatten that out. Oh. It didn't like that remesh. Why is this remesh giving it trouble? Oh, I hit subdivision somehow. I meant to hit remesh. That was weird. I think it also shaded it smooth somehow. I must have clicked a bunch of random buttons all of a sudden. Okay, now we're going to flatten all of this. Really get that texture going. That is like so... I changed something. Something is like wrong about how this is working now. I'm not sure what I did. I kind of like the way it's processing, but it's definitely spooking me out a little bit. Okay. So it's roughly correct here. So let's bring it up. We're going to average all this in just a second anyway, so no stress over the details. We're just bringing it up. Bringing it up. All right. Should be brought up quite a bit more, actually, with a tilt. So let's tilt it, and we'll do this. Get really big edits. That should be about right now that I'm looking at it. Oh, that's about perfect. This part comes down, so watch, we'll average it. We'll give it an average of like 6. Do a remesh. Really just get the angle going on this thing. Whoa. Why won't it let me... Oh, something really weird happened to this thing. What did I do? What button did I just press? Okay, tell you what. We're going to exit sculpt mode. We're going to click it. What? It just reset. I have no clue what I've done. If I go back to sculpt, what is happening? What did I do? Oh, I've done something very weird to it. What have I done? Okay, I pressed Control 5 because in my mind I might have accidentally thumbed Control 5 the first time. Something very strange is going on with this guy. Yeah, and it's not responding when I'm... Okay, there we go. Oh, I put a modifier on it. Okay. Something very strange. I hit multi-tress something or other, and it made it go crazy. So this time we'll do it even better than we did last time. So, clay strips, cutting in. We're going to cut very sensitively on this thing. We're going to really get that shape going. And then we'll do our average. Okay, so the mesh gets smaller at the back. There's this little T-bone looking thing. So let's emphasize that. Emphasize all this flat bit up front. There we go. That is a really good shape. It's a little much right here. Let's scrape a little bit of this away. But like, that's a good shape. I think we can bring a little bit here. And then reinflate the nose just a little bit. Remesh it. And we're in. Okay, I think we salvaged it. We'll bring all of this up and flat. Right there. There we go. It's definitely a weird skull. Like, am I going to say this is the end all be all? No. I'm not a perfect artist, and I'm certainly not a perfect 3D artist. But I'm, like, kind of content with this. This looks cool. I think I might be inclined to only do the bottom jaw. That might sound like I'm trying to give myself an easy out here, but I'm also just kind of thinking, like, the way it's going to sit inside the stump, I think it might be nicer if it's just a top jaw. I mean, there's already me so much going on, right? So it's not going to matter too much. Okay, there's kind of a hard break here. So I'm gonna do the unthinkable. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna wait for this to load, the thing that I didn't cut. We're gonna cut it right there. And it's at an angle, it shouldn't be too prominent. Yeah, we'll cut it at a slightly bigger angle. That should do a good little bit for us. So we know right here is about where we like our cut to be. So we'll break into this. I'm going to do ourselves a favor and make our remeshing way smaller. Because we're starting to run into some issues with our remesh. Okay. Let's go ahead and just round out this back part. Round that out. This part really needs to come down. I keep having trouble with it. Just really bring it down. Just get aggressive. It'll all work out. You need to chill and just go for it. Okay. Now the nose dips right here. And we can average that out just a little bit. Okay, averaging this little like mouthpiece keeps causing me trouble. Why is that? Come on. Bring the strength up. Okay. Oh, that's it. Yep, that's the shape. We got it. Folks, we've got them. So we'll just bring it down a little bit, just the nose. There we go. It's about the right shape. I'm going to use a really light averager now. We're just going to very carefully bring this back to where we want it. Okay, now, what I want to be doing with this... Oh, I immediately see a problem. Let's do ourselves a favor, just fix this problem right here. Needs to have more of like a cat eye shape. It's a little too squared off for me. So we'll get some clay strips, break that in, average it. We'll crease this part, and then we'll average it. There we go. That's the shape I wanted. Oh, it's still a little prominent right here. Why is it so... Come on. Just really get that part going. There we go. Now we're going to go really carefully and fix some of this interior structure. And I'm worried about messing it up, so we're going to not go too crazy on it. We just want really smooth, small lines. Really smooth. We're just gonna chill. Just chill. This whole sketch is just about chilling. Okay. Now we're gonna use really small averagers. And we're just averaging it out super easy. We are just about there. Oh, it did mess the front face up a little bit. I kind of don't hate that angle though. So maybe we'll just keep the angle intact and we'll just fix it right here. It added a nice little crease for us. That's something we can work off of. Look at that. Look at that. Now, it's not nearly as spiky, and I'm actually missing this hole, which I have no idea what this hole even does. I guess I have to do it. Okay. Screw it. We'll do it. I'm no chump. I'll do it. Let's save real quick, just in case things get terrible. So I'm going to lower my size, keep high strength. We're just going to push into this thing. Keep our remesh high. Just keep trying to break in. Right about there, I think, is a good angle. And we've broken through. So we'll try and cut it to pieces. Try and cut it really nice, just get it really thin. Keep remeshing until that goes away. Okay, let's try it one more time. Actually, I kind of don't hate the way that that looks right now. Oh, and somehow I made a hole in the back. We'll fix that. So I think let's try and average this. That looks fine. Looks a little weird. Let's crease it back a little bit. There's a bit of a section here. That'll do us some favors. For the most part, I think we might be set. Oh, I just ruined it. What is that doing for us? Man, I feel like I should even remesh it smaller now that I'm seeing this, but I don't want to go too crazy. I'm worried that we're just going to like enter no man's land eventually. So we'll chill here. I think we can kind of call that it. Let's average all that out, make it nice again. Okay, now, prominent, very prominent is this tooth. Right here. Very, very prominent. How high up the head does it go? It sort of scales out at the top. Right about there. And it's pretty smooth looking. Cool. We'll grab you, average you out. There we go. Now we can go ahead and build off of that and do this part. Get it as flat as we can handle. Remesh. And then average. Now, if I were doing a more serious design and I didn't have a time limit, you know, if I wasn't presenting here on Twitch, I would really take the time to sit and do every little angle here. But that's just not what we're doing right now. That's not the point. That's not what we're trying to accomplish. It's not what we're trying to learn. We're trying to see how much we can do with a short amount of time. So we're not going to stress the details too much. Here we go. We're just worried about our normals being too close. That looks pretty solid. I might throw some clay strips over this to give it texture, but I don't super hate this. Oh wait, actually, now that I'm looking at it, this crease is like nuts. This crease is like really prominent. Okay, so we'll average this side of it. Well, that might be a little too simple for us. There we go. Oh, looks like I'm going to have a little guest today. For anybody watching on YouTube, let me go ahead and pop my guest in and give them an introduction. All right. This little, like, sniffer or whatever the heck this thing is, I don't know about it. Yeah, I don't know what I'm really doing with it. But it'll have to manage. Yeah, we'll just take the shape of it and we'll kind of deal. I'm not loving that the shape doesn't super match up, but it'll be fine. All right. That'll do.
Hello.
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 Everybody, let me introduce you to DeathViolets.
Hola.
Do you go by your real name online?
Either one.
AK Megan.
E.
So, why do I have you in chat with me today? What's the celebration?
From what I know, you're making my character, right?
Yeah, I kind of accidentally started making her character, then I was like, hold on, wait a second. So yeah, I figured I would, you know, it'd be a little improper for me not to at least let you say your piece or warn you to some degree.
Me. I mean, I'm flattered, I guess.
Yeah, it's your so this we play D&D every now and again. It's not really D&D, it's more of a homebrew. My chat's heard about that before. But we play some you know, role-playing stuff together, and this is DeathViolets' character.
Little stumpy boy.
Yeah, not necessarily the cat skull. I mean, there is the cat skull, but what we're talking about is, where are ya? We're talking about this character, little stump, and the cat skull is going to go inside the stump.
E.
So yeah. So hello.
Hello.
How's your day going?
It's going. I just started my stream too. I'm just working on a Christmas commission.
Hey, so. Commission. Somebody making some shmoney.
It was more of a trade, but you know.
Trades are fine.
Yeah.
Saving money. Not have to buy whatever it is that you're trading for.
Right. But yeah, I worked early this morning, so other than that, nothing too spicy going on.
There you go.
What am I doing? What are we doing? We're gonna start the new dog. That's what I was doing.
New dog.
New dog.
New Dog City. For all you Mario fans out there.
What is that? What game is that in?
Mario Odyssey.
Oh, no. Okay.
New Donk City.
Maybe, is it one of the things for a Mario Kart level?
Could be. I don't think so, because Odyssey...
This sounds familiar.
Unless it's in the new Mario Kart, which I haven't played.
I don't know.
I know Mario Odyssey came out or after Mario Kart 8.
All right. Oh, hi, buddy.
All right. So I don't know if you got a chance to look at this cat skull that we're working on.
I have been peeking while getting set up, so I have a loose idea of what you're working on. Because right now you just have the skull, right? Or you're working on the skull?
Yeah, I have. I did most everything yesterday.
Oh, my brush. What is happening?
Oh, so your boy.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good.
Working on skull.
Just working on skull.
Yeah.
Really trying to feel it out.
I think maybe we just do a wash.
I think I might be reaching about critical mass on the skull. There's like a million things that I want to be doing to this thing. But I know I'm just going to sit here and pick at it for like 45 years.
That sounds about right.
So I'm sort of like, I think we're done. Like, it's all right. Let me add some brush texture to it. But other than that, I think we're good.
Want my hoodie? Is that what you're asking for?
Everyone wants your hoodie.
Milo is cold. There we go.
Little cold boy. To anybody who's uninformed, Milo is Megan's cat. Little naked boy.
Right, I feel like it's been a hot second since we've talked.
I agree. I feel like...
It's just kind of dawning on me.
That's okay. What better place to get introduced than, in a weird D&D 3D sculpting sesh, you know? Has life been good to you?
It's going. I'm working a lot.
I feel that.
And that's basically been it.
Oh, so. But I thought your boss said that you were the worst employee in the world.
I wish he would. Then they would cut back my hours. No, right now I'm working. They're about to push me at 40 hours for this week.
Jeez. That is too much.
I think I got pretty close to 40 for last week. So,
Man,
it's the holidays.
I do not miss the retail life.
Sucks being one of the most capable on the team.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, hey, you can do this. And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I guess.
I could, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
Well, good on you at least.
It's okay. Today I was about an hour and a half late to work.
Why is that?
I overslept.
Good.
And Amanda she just texted me. It was just like, hey, good morning. Are you coming in?
Oh no.
And I was like, I'm sorry. She's like, oh, take your time. You can just come in whenever. And I'm like, oh. Then why am I waking up at like 6:30 in the morning?
I think she was just being nice. I don't think she meant that.
Well, tomorrow I'm supposed to go in at the same time, but she's like, oh, just come in whenever.
What?
And I'm like, okay. Because technically, basically primarily what they're having me do is just being there as a second person to, one, help if there's a customer on the counter.
Totally.
And two, to help just get pieces done. Because now we're at over 20 pieces a day.
Right.
For production. For those confused, I'm a framer at a retail store.
For now.
For now.
Quick sidebar. I've been working on this skull for 50 minutes now.
Yeah.
And I just switched the way that I'm doing it for just a second.
Oh.
And it looks infinitely better from like 1 minute
Yeah.
of sculpting than it does from the whole 50 minutes. I mean, I needed to make the shape first, so like it was
Right.
necessary, but this looks
That looks good.
like a freaking skull.
Very good. Little snoot.
All right, before I run out of time, I gotta make some teeth. So let's make some teeth.
Did you put a time limit on yourself again?
I always do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's a little behind the scenes for everybody. I want to put on a good show. I want to, be interesting on Twitch, regardless of how many people are watching me. But it's also a really good like shorthand thing that like forces me to do good. Like it forces me to like be as good and fast and efficient and whatever. And if I'm gonna get into game design, I know one of the biggest problems with game design is people just like spin forever on their meshes.
Mm.
And it's like, okay, so if I can actively teach myself not to do that right now while I'm super impressionable, then like, yeah, no problem.
Mm.
So I mean, maybe that's not the most efficient or the most like productive way to be thinking about learning a new skill, but it's been nice.
I mean, I think everybody has their own process. So
For sure.
whatever works for you.
I just think it's been productive. It's been good for me.
Good. That's all that matters.
But yeah, there's definitely times where it's like, I wish I had an hour. But
right.
I
Of
don't.
course.
All right, there's tooth number 1.
So does that mean you'll start having projects that you'll dedicate like more time to?
To some degree, but I'm not
Maybe.
sure when. What's up?
I'm painting this solid black dog, and I just made a very bold eyebrow, and I was like, oh.
Dogs with human eyebrows.
Yeah.
Whoa, what in the earth happened there? Excuse me, what is happening? Proportional editing. Let's get it really sharp. Oh, there we go.
Is it clicking?
Clicking?
I said, is it clicking for you?
Well, I'm just like So when you're 3D modeling, I feel like I'm always like mansplaining 3D modeling to people. Not my intention. But when you're 3D modeling, there's like a couple of different types of 3D modeling, and they don't coexist with each other super well.
Okay.
So in Blender specifically, there's edit mode, which lets you edit like the vertices of a mesh and add vertices and whatever. It's very manual, right? You're like, it's like pointillism. You're doing 1 pixel at a time.
Okay.
And then there's sculpt, which is like working with clay.
Okay.
If you do edit mode stuff, you make lower poly meshes that are more efficient, and you have like way more control over them specifically, but it takes forever.
Okay.
So ideally, you want to be sculpting as much as you can, I guess. I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be people who disagree with that, but I think sculpting is probably the preferred way to be doing things. But every now and again, you don't have the option to sculpt things, especially if you're making like really small stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're editing, there's always little tricks you got to do.
Mm.
And I just figured out one of the tricks by accident.
It'd be like that.
All right, I had to fix my zoom there. Sorry about that. We're going to put this.
I'm gonna have to
There we go.
paint the highlights later.
I gotta like open your stream or something. Maybe once I chill on this, I'll jump in your stream.
Yeah, no pressure. I've like never, it like dawned on me last stream that I've never painted a solid black dog or animal. So I'm like,
What? You mean like a silhouette?
No, like a dog that like his fur is just completely black.
Oh.
And it's much more challenging than I thought it was gonna be.
That seems challenging.
So, we're we're just going.
If
And he's also
go on.
super curly. He's got super curly fur, and that doesn't help either.
Curly boy. If watching professional painters has done anything for me, it's that you never use true black. True black doesn't exist.
Oh.
Are you a true black person?
A little bit. So I do like a ultramarine like wash to block out like highlights and lowlights.
Oh, so you're like true black.
Yeah.
You're like as dark as you can get.
Yeah.
See, I think, okay. Art, I'm not trying to explain art to you. This is for my
You're
chat.
good.
Like,
Yeah.
you know way more about art than I do. In no way do I think anything of that.
Well,
But like art 101 for peeps, there's rules to everything. Like there's rules to music, there's rules to painting, there's rules to this, that, this. And you have to learn the rules. It's very important that you learn the rules if you want to have any sort of professionalism or quality to your work. But you reach a point where you gain the ability to break the rules. And it sounds so silly if you're not an artist. But like you must know the rules before you can break them. And when you intentionally start breaking rules, oh, it's the best. Because like you have so much control.
To say, I also feel like art is just very like up to the artist. It's hard to like set like this is the
For
structure.
sure.
Like I understand, like I think you're referring to like learning like the principles and elements.
Right.
And like just the key factors, which is important. But also, you
believe in the author.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. As you should. Nobody knows their art
like-
better than the person who's making the art.
Right, because I actually was never formally taught how to paint. Because I focused on sculpture while I was in school, and I just kind of figured painting out
Yeah, totally.
roughly. But so half the time I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, so please don't look at me for advice. I can tell you my advice, but definitely not the scripture.
I feel like I say this so often on stream, but my partner is like the craziest painter in the world. Like
I agree.
so incredibly gifted at painting. And I am not. And so when I do 3D modeling, it is so much more from an analytical standpoint than it is from a like, true fine art.
Yeah.
Like I am not the artist of my household. I am the math guy of my household. And I like being the math guy. Like it's cool, it works, it's fine. But certainly people shouldn't be looking at my art and being like, you're it. It's like, I'm glad you feel that way if that's true. I hope your bar is a little higher than that, but like appreciate it nonetheless. But yeah, I don't think it's true of me to call myself like a true artist. At least not visually.
I think you're an artist in your own way.
If we want to talk about writing, I will declare artist 100%. I am the artist of all artists when it comes to that.
Horrible at writing. I'm so bad.
You're horrible at writing?
I'm so bad at writing. Like even like just little things that I write to myself, I'm like, oof, no.
What does being bad at writing mean? Like, what do you write that you're having trouble with?
Honestly, I think where my struggle is I think much faster than I can write.
Oh, I get that.
So by the time I finish writing a sentence, my mind is already like 20 sentences ahead of it. So then I just start writing, like trying to keep up. So then it doesn't connect the dots. So none of it makes sense.
I understand that.
Does
Yeah,
make sense?
that totally makes sense.
Okay.
I had to think about it for a sec.
Yeah, like that's the best way I could think to describe it. Because half the time when I write things, and then I read it back later, I'm like, what? I don't even know what I was thinking.
What are you writing?
I write a lot about, so I hate drawing. I know that sounds crazy, but I hate drawing. So I write a lot about my pieces.
Okay.
Um,
Hating drawing.
yeah.
Never would have expected that from you.
Oh, I hate drawing. I do it because
You mean like
I
sketching,
know-
right? Like
Yeah, like I'll do rough sketch like a rough sketch, I'm like, okay, this is rough sketch. But I would never, like, the thought of sitting down and doing, like, this is a finished piece that's going to be just a drawing. No, thank you.
Oh, I get that. I sort of feel the same way.
Don't want that. But even still, I don't like my sketches either.
Oh, look at that boy. He's got kind of a crumped skull, but man, this looks great. Looks like a dinosaur.
Munch.
Big old muncher. Anyway.
Does his... I know you have a time limit, but does his, like, where his teeth are, does that need to come out just a smidge more? Like, just past his canines? Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, you're right. I'll do that right now while we're here. I gotta say, if you told me where I'd be in 3D modeling right now a couple months ago, I don't know if I'd believe you. I'm sort of like impressed. Like, I humble myself a lot, right? I do a lot of 3D modeling outside of stream. And when I do 3D modeling outside of stream, I always end up like humiliating myself. Not that I don't do that on stream. I certainly humiliate myself on stream. But like, okay, here's a little insight for, I've been talking about side projects on my chat a lot. Here's a side project for you. Hopefully people don't think of me as being fraudulent for saying this. I've been working on making 3D models for role-playing. That's been like a big thing for me lately. Mm-hmm. It's like just really fun and really like insightful for me. And I sort of approach it the same way that I approach my stream with like, you know, I'm going to do it in this amount of time and I'm going to do this step and then this step and then this step, blah, 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 whatever. I am always terrible at it. I'm like always doing so bad at it. It's like as good as I think I am. Man, I look at like people's work on Instagram and I'm like, whew, I am not good.
Well, I mean, too, like, you have to think, like, where were they at the level, like, at the point where you are working on this?
Totally.
Because I'm sure they...
Go on.
They have more time, like, studying.
Oh, totally. In no way do I think I'm going to, like, outplay somebody who's much more experienced than me.
Right.
It's just humbling. I think it's good to keep that in check.
Okay, yeah.
I don't want to think that I'm better than I am. Okay.
Weird.
Oh man, we're gonna get a really nice ridge there.
I don't know what I'm doing.
There we go. How do you feel about that? Is that a little bit better?
Give me a second.
Yep, no
It's
problem.
a little laggy.
No problem. Oh, let me bring this down. And then bring that in. We'll bring it in and then we'll bring it down.
Pointy T first.
We'll get the gums coming up in here. There we go. This is a hard little thing to sort of scoop.
There you go. Yeah, I like it with the little, I guess gums is probably what you're referring to them as.
Yeah.
I think that helps a lot.
Definitely. Even though it's bone, you know, not gums, but
Well.
we're gonna call it. No, I'm doing the same thing. We're gonna call it gums. Yeah, I think I could sit here and mess on this thing forever, but we're gonna move forward at this point.
Yeah, no. No, I think pulling them forward like that definitely helped a bit. Hey. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. How's your day going? So is this your only goal for tonight, Red? Is to do the skull?
No, I have more that I want to be
Okay.
doing, but
Okay.
this is the only thing that's like required of me.
Okay.
I'll show you what I'm working on after this, if you're able to. I don't mean to take you away from your stream.
Good. We just vibing in my stream.
Yeah, we're just chilling. We're chilling in a both of our streams.
I don't set deadlines. I just kind of go.
I only set deadlines
That-
for the reason that like I want to improve as fast as possible.
I get that. That makes sense.
Like
in Sparrow, I'm doing pretty good. We're just vibing.
straight chilling tonight.
Yeah.
What was her name?
I think it's Swirro XFKW. Swirro. I'm just gonna say Swirro if that's okay.
Swirro. Hello, Swirro. Oh man, this skull should be like way more prominent. It looks a little bit more like a really ferocious guinea pig.
If anything, I would say like if you pull out the nose and the front teeth like just a little bit more, like just to give it a little bit more of a snout.
Yeah, I'm gonna have trouble doing that.
Okay.
Where I'm at right now.
I think too, like the way it is now. I don't know what your plan is for it visually, but this kind of like I don't want to say chibi, but like it's like the slightly like
yes,
cartoonier.
I think cartoonie's
version?
fine. I think it's all right if it's a little cartoony.
Yeah.
I think the dimensions are definitely wrong. It looks like a weasel. Which
That's not a cat skull that you're comparing it to. What skull
that's a
is
bobcat.
that? Bobcat. Okay, got it.
This is fine. I'm keeping this. We're gonna accept it.
Gotcha. Swirro, if you're referring to the painting, this is the second stream of it. I want to say, my last stream was 3 hours, I think.
Of just
Don't quote
painting?
me. Yeah.
Holy cow.
Well, painting and chatting.
Sure.
But yeah.
Dang, dude. Kind of doing the most.
We just vibing in my streams.
Good on you. All right, I got the best idea for this guy. We're gonna work way smarter, not harder. Check this. We got this guy, pulling him up. Gonna do a little bit of proportional editing. What's up?
I'm mumbling to myself. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get these highlights in the dog.
How you gonna get that dog going?
Maybe if we make like a light blue.
Let's not do it that way.
Is that instead of white?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we'll do it. Check this.
The blue, I think, is ultramarine. Let me triple check.
Probably
Yes,
worth checking.
Ultramarine.
Ultramarines.
Yeah. I did at some point accidentally put out Spectrum Violet instead of ultramarine, so there's probably just a hint of that in there, but it should be primarily ultramarine. But you know, what is it, Milo? Going out.
Okay.
All right.
Let's
So this is
remesh the heck out of this thing.
just so you know, Swirro. This is my first attempt at a black furred dog, so I don't entirely know what I'm doing.
Black furred dog.
Yes.
If you said that with a thick enough accent, it would be a different word.
Black furred dog.
I don't know if that was the accent I was thinking, but sure.
Oh, what was
Can I pet that dog?
Well, that should make it more unique. That's fair. I'm trying to think. There was something last night I saw online that was like a saying that was like really hard to say. Oh, what was it?
For a specific accent or for you?
Like in general. Now I need to know. Let me look it up real quick. It was really funny.
I love the have you seen the Detroit or like Oakland one where it's Aaron or it's like a bunch of words and people in whatever place. I think it's Oakland. They say like
Oh, no.
and it's like it's mind melting because they do it and they're like, what is happening? Because they don't realize that the words sound like similar because you know they're not common words to be used together.
Right. Oh, well, thank you, Swirro. That's very sweet of you. Let's see. What is...
Okay, I've kind of botched this tooth a little bit.
Okay.
We're gonna try this. What's up?
You guys say, I'm gonna say it really slow. Irish wristwatch.
Irish wristwatch.
Oh, well, see, it took me like an hour to figure out how to say it.
I did some.
Irish wristwatch.
You didn't do theater or anything growing up?
No.
Yeah. Try and say red leather, yellow leather.
Red leather, yellow leather.
Keep saying it.
Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather.
Very good.
It wasn't as bad as I expected, though.
What about unique New York?
Unique New York?
Yeah.
Unique New York. Ooh. I was pretty confident in that, too. Unique New York.
First try.
God damn. Well, you know.
It happens.
Don't bite my cord, please. Thank you.
I am making the world's weirdest tooth.
Well, you know.
It has to
not gonna
happen.
be perfect.
I mean, I'd like it to be perfect.
Well, I mean, like,
That'd be cool.
no animal's gonna have like pristine, perfect teeth. Ow. Let me just headbutt my mic.
Put it in its place.
I suppose.
All right, now we will go ahead and just dig into this. One of these days, I'm worried that like somebody who is much better at 3D modeling than me is gonna come in and be like, "You are so biased to the clay strips like brush," because it's like the only thing I ever use. I use clay strips, blob, and smooth for everything.
Would that be a bad thing though if someone called you out like that?
I mean, I wouldn't be offended. Like, good on
Okay.
them for knowing more than I do.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know. It just works. It does everything. I guess I'd like to know if there's a better way to do things, but like, it just seems so good. And there's like 20 different clay brushes that you can use, and I use one.
And I do that too a lot. If I find something that works for me, I'm very guilty about just sticking to that.
Yeah, why change
I
it?
my camera. Bear with me 1 second.
Camera shut down.
Yep.
What a cool problem.
Yeah. Did I explain to you that it's a problem that you can shut off on all cameras except for the version that I have?
Oh, I did not hear that part.
Yeah.
That's
I love that.
So cool.
Yeah, you know. Maybe one day when I have money, I can get a new camera and we won't have this problem anymore. But
is it like
for now,
an outdated model or something? Why is it that one?
I don't know. I think Canon just decided, oh, we don't need to put that feature on this one camera. But you know.
I just don't understand like why they have the option for it, but the option doesn't work.
Right.
Like if I had a car and the car wasn't fast, I mean, I don't think I'd have a reason to really be upset. But like if the car was like press super hyper overdrive mode and it was like, oh, this one doesn't work on your model. It's like, then why is the option there?
Right. Notice said Willie's real rear wheel.
What?
Oh, it's a tongue twister.
Can you say it again?
Willie's real rear wheel.
Willie's real rear wheel.
Yes.
Willie's real rear wheel. That like hurts to say.
Willie's real rear.
I can't comment on it.
That's a good one.
I don't know how hard it is. I just don't want to say it. It like hurts.
Willie's real rear wheel.
You kind of sound like a baby, like learning to talk.
I am a baby.
No, like anybody saying it, not you.
I am a 12-year-old.
Yeah, we've discussed this.
Yeah, it's okay.
Guys, I have
my reference photo.
I have broken terms of service. I am streaming with a 12-year-old.
It'd be like that.
I wonder what the policy is on streaming with like little kids.
I mean,
I
feel like
that can't be that big of a deal, right?
no, I wouldn't think so. As long as it's like
Sure. I mean, as long as you're not being like a creep.
Right. I never heard of any restrictions on that.
Well, don't you have to be like 13 to like have an account or like 16 to have an account?
Oh, probably. I
That's
would
where I think the
think.
implication would be.
Swiro said 13.
Is the limit.
Probably, yeah. I mean, why would a... Well, okay, I was gonna say why would a like 7-year-old want an account, but I take that back. I guess this is a
Yeah, my nephew would like eat
different.
this up.
Yeah.
He would love to be on stream.
Actually, that 13 sounds about right because I want to say my nephew has an account because I
13 seems young to me, but also I look at kids nowadays and I'm like, kids are way more mature than they were when I was that age. I don't know if they're more mature, but at least they do more mature activities.
Gotcha. So Swiro said that they made their account when they were 13, and that was the minimum.
Swiro, how old are you?
You hopped on that train real quick. You said, I am of age. Sign me up.
Yeah, that's wild. What age are you now? Like, you must still be pretty young.
Noda said, I would imagine it's 13 to be independent, but you can probably be younger with adult supervision.
That's so strange to me.
I don't know.
Yeah, anyway. I'm not 13. I don't have to worry about it. All right. I've kind of goofed up this tooth lot, and I realize I'm like really out of time.
What is it you're working on? What is that?
I'm making the side teeth.
Oh, okay. For half a second, maybe because it's purple, my brain immediately thought you were making a very lumpy version of my DeathViolets bunny.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh.
The colors are chosen randomly.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It just differentiates like which one you're working on, basically.
I don't know how I feel about this. So we're just gonna keep going.
There we go. That's a little better.
They're exposed to more stuff.
That's a good angle. Go on.
Spiro was making the point that younger generations nowadays are more exposed to stuff than they were when like we were kids.
I mean, I'm not that old. Like, I grew up with the internet. Like, I had YouTube when I was like a preteen.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not a preteen, but like right around that age, I had YouTube. So it's like, I suppose there's more content coming out. So like, you're right about that. But I don't know. People weren't as mature, I think, as it seems like the younger generation is now. And I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing either. Like, good on you for being mature.
Right. I don't know.
Just, it's surprising. It's very strange. I wonder if it'll ever like return back, or if this is just like the way of things now.
I don't know.
Like,
in my head, it makes sense that it would return back, kind of like
the 70s.
I almost want to compare it to fashion, like how everything like continuously loops.
Right.
That's how it works in my brain, but also I don't know. Could be totally wrong. I'm gonna take this off. This is making my wrist bend in a weird way.
Oh, I don't love the way this tooth looks.
Oh. Why? I think maybe if you like flatten it, like make it a little bit like, because it looks very round. So if you make it a little bit more like pancakey.
Yeah, it's probably the way I want to do it.
Oh my gosh. Did I tell you what I got for me and Jeremy for Christmas?
No. What happened?
I found at Walmart they had it was like a kit thing, but I only really wanted the pan. But it's a kit to make cat pancakes.
Oh, so, yeah, I heard about this.
For Christmas, we're gonna have cat pancakes.
Goodness me. So you're doing Christmas at your house?
We're doing like a us Christmas before we go home to see the family and stuff.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Our, here we go. That looks a lot better, actually. We're doing Christmas at Linnaeus for the first time. Linnaeus' parents.
Oh.
So that'll be weird.
Did you? That just dawned on me. Did you not go with them to their parents' place for
The other
mom's
day?
birthday or whatever?
No.
Okay.
Their mom wasn't even there. So like,
Oh, what?
yeah,
Then what was the point of going?
it was to go for mom's birthday, but
Okay.
mom decided to like go to Jamaica or something.
If,
Okay.
Yes, Jeremy, we can have Pillsbury orange rolls. And yes, so the pan itself is shaped like a cat face. It's got like whiskers and everything. Like it has it all indented. So I would think that when we like bake a pancake in it, it'll like maybe either it'll toast it more in the areas that have the like eyeballs, or it'll just be like dimples in the pancake. I don't know, but I'm excited about it. Oh, that wasn't black. Hold on.
Oh, this definitely looks a little weird, but we're keeping it. I don't care. And now I gotta make some bones in 10 minutes. Let's do it. We got it.
Just making like the bone parts for this part of your stream, right? You're
Do
not
what?
doing like are you doing the full character in this one stream, or are you just doing
Oh,
the
your
bone
character's
parts?
already like close to being done, other than like just the accessories.
Okay.
I'll show you the full scene once we do this part.
Okay.
I'll give you a little tour.
Maybe I didn't see the other bits.
I'm very proud of a very specific detail I did, and I'll show you that because it
Okay.
is. Oof, I did something good for my standards.
I'm interested to see your twist on my character, because I don't think I've ever like super described.
Well, I remember having the original conversation with you about how it looked.
Okay.
So
I guess that's fair. That was a while ago.
I feel pretty comfortable knowing what your character looks like.
Okay. I just remember when Lene drew out my character, it was literally like a tree stump, and the skull was like sitting on top of the sliced stump top.
Yeah, so one of the only major changes I did is the skull's going inside of like a hollow.
Uh-huh.
Other than that, we're pretty much there.
Okay.
We're gonna
I was gonna laugh if you made the version that Lene drew.
No, I don't even know if I
think it's
have that
funny.
drawing.
Oh, I'm sure Lene probably does somewhere.
Maybe. Might be at your place.
I
Alright.
don't know. Alright.
There we have the color correct. For the sake of us, I am going to call this bone material. And we're gonna make everything bone material so I can just work off of one. Because I don't want to keep making these and looking at them and whatever. There we go. Cool. So now I just need to do this color ramp. How are we gonna do it? Gradient texture.
Trying to separate his face from his snout, I guess is the best way to describe that.
What are you making?
A dog.
Oh, that's right. I was like, you're making a skull? What?
I mean, I could.
No. I have 10 minutes left of this until I switch to Hyperlight Drifter, so.
Are you streaming that too, or are you just...
Yeah, I'm streaming it.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of debating whether we're going to keep chatting during Hyperlight Drifter. I tend to sort of meander.
I mean, whatever you want to do. I'm just vibing. We're just having a good time.
Whoa. Oh my gosh, I made... Whoa, that looks so nice. That looks so good.
Okay.
That's
Three
so
of them.
dynamic.
Are you talking about the dogs? They've been here the whole time.
What's happening?
Spiro was saying this is getting out of hand. Now there's 3 of them, and I think they're referring to the dogs. All 3 dogs have been here this whole time. I've only been working on the one though. Oh, it's a Star Wars reference. I'm sorry. I watched much Star Wars. I watched like.
I don't know that reference. That's a Star Wars reference?
I guess.
I
I don't know.
Never
I
heard of
watched
it.
Star Wars like years ago, like the first like 4 or whatever, and I don't remember any of it. So
Man, the Star Wars movies,
sorry.
here we go. Sorry for the controversial opinions, everybody. For the most part, the Star Wars movies are sort of terrible.
Okay.
What you want is the Clone Wars by Genndy Tartakovsky. Ooh,
Okay.
it is to die for. And it's on YouTube.
Damn, you know this like the back of your hand. The quote is from episode 1.
Oh,
Viceroy says it. Correct me.
I
Is
don't even
that
know who
right?
that is.
Viceroy? I can't read.
Is it one of the racers?
I don't know.
Hey.
Vicerroy.
Would you mind if I gave you a quick little tour of what I'm working on real quick?
Sure. One of the separatist leaders.
I don't know what that is.
Have you watched the Clone Wars of 2008? From 2008.
I have not watched the 2008 one.
Well, I think that's what he's referring to. Or
Got
they're
it.
referring to. Okay,
I just realized I had to do one thing real quick, but I'll be incredibly
okay.
fast. I'm sorry. You can stay on stream if you're here. It's fine. Oh, that's it. We've done it. Oh, we've done it. Perfect.
All due respect.
There you go. All right.
Oh, the color looks nice on it.
Yeah. So it shades based on which perspective you're looking at. So one side will be dark, one side will be light, which I don't know how realistic that is, but it looks nice, I think. You see his crack texture?
Oh, yeah. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm dropping a lot of frames actually. Okay, so the skull is gonna go inside of the stump. So let's get the stump and I'll put the skull inside of it. The stump is not materialed yet, so it looks a little weird.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go ahead and turn this by 90 degrees. We'll put it in.
You know what that like roughly makes me think of at first?
Yeah, what's up?
I say this with a lot of love and respect.
Okay, I can't wait to be offended.
It makes me think of those like cat height. It's like to people that can't see. It's like a cylinder squarish shape with like a hole, like a chunk of wood with a hole in the side of it that has the cat skull in it. It makes me think of like the cat hide holes, but for some reason my brain specifically went to the ones that people hide cat litter boxes in. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't think that's offensive at all. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. I didn't want to say that and you'd be like, oh. I mean, it is my character, so.
No, I don't feel offended by that at all.
Okay.
I think you know, cat stuff is usually modeled after like very woodsy whatever.
Right.
So yeah, no problem at all.
Okay.
I mean, how dare you? I slave day and night for this.
Audacity. My character looks like a cat litter box hideout. How dare I design it that way?
I mean, I gotta say, I didn't realize I was making your character at first.
That's nice.
I was like, I want to make a little baby tree ant. And then I was just like referencing it, and then it started. Okay, there we go.
I feel like that.
So there's your little tree boy. I'm gonna.
Hi, Milo.
You're on a bit of a delay on me, so
Totally.
I'm gonna do a little roundabout here for you to see.
Very good.
So he's got like a really loose bark texture. I'm gonna go back and like really edit the heck out of this thing, but I'm just trying to speed it. And then he's got rings on the top. And then I'll show you the thing I'm proud of after that.
Here. Why'd you bring me your toy? It's very wet.
Oh boy, we love wet toys.
Do you want it back? You're not acting like you want to play, so I'm assuming you just wanted to bring it up here.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you.
I guess. He said, look, Mudder, it's soggy. The last episode... Best rated TV episodes. Yes, I'm sorry. I usually clarify that. So I have a computer right here to see like chat and everything. But then back
What?
here, I have red stream since we're chatting with him, and then I also have my reference photo. Eventually, I'm gonna have a better setup to where I don't have to look behind me like
Yeah,
a crazy
you got
person.
quite a
But
busy setup.
yeah,
If I can show you one more thing, if you don't mind.
yeah. Um,
I'm very
is
proud of
that
this.
flower?
Okay, so you see the flower?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna change it to the material view.
Okay.
You see that?
Oh.
Okay, so I'm not proud of this. It looks a little
Okay.
weird. But what I've done
Very psychedelic.
is I have it randomly generating colors and patterns despite being based on the same mathematic formula.
Okay.
I just use a random node for anybody who's
Oh.
Blender centric. So I
That's
don't have
kinda
to
cool.
I don't have to remodel these. I'm gonna like
Nice.
sprinkle them everywhere. Your character's like
Yes.
standing next to a hill, and the
Okay.
hill's gonna be covered in flowers.
Oh.
So eventually I gotta like redo the colors and make it look like a normal flower instead of like this psychedelic mess.
Right.
But when I do, there'll be flowers everywhere and I won't have to actually manually do them.
They would like that.
Yeah. Anyway, that is the segment for Blender Blunders today. We got one more part going tomorrow. And then we'll try and say that that's it for the stump.
Stump boy.
So yeah, we're gonna go play some Hyperlight Drifter. I will see you in a second.